What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you've seen the Deathless Necropolis run that I live streamed, by the time of this recording it would be the day before. Today we are showing off rank 3 Sig 200 Deathless Thanos. Now, I'm going to show him off as a solo champion and with the full Deathless synergy. So let's go start off here against just some normal champions with just Thanos. I'm just going to go against one of the whole lanes, so short, medium, and long form content. You know, it's not always the same sort of health pool, but short, medium, and long form content is what we're going to start with. So let's just go fight Civil Warrior. That's probably fine. Actually, you know what? Let's fight Star-Lord. Yeah, let's just fight Star-Lord. Show him off kind of in a simple matchup, just showing off the rotation. So, Deathless Thanos is at rank 3, Sig 200. He starts the fight with 30 of his necrotic charges. So, you want to immediately go in and do a heavy attack right away. Now, you want to get up to 10 hits in your combo, and you want to use that counter punch to push yourself up to 20. That gives you 4 Furies. You want to use the counter punch again. It happens on every combo interval of 10. More Furies. Now you have your max Fury stack. And now the opponent's dead. So, before I even got going there, the opponent is already dead. So let me kind of explain that whole rotation, because in mid-fight it's a little hard to explain. You get these counter punch charges every 10th hit in your combo, every 10th combo interval. When you take a blocked hit, you trigger the counter punch, and if you trigger the counter punch and attack the opponent and actually counter them, you get additional necrotic charges, so the next time you get to your counter punch, you're like 3 or 4 hits away rather than 10. So let me show what that looks like in a fight where you don't start with the charges. So if you didn't already know, Thanos' Sig ability, it allows him to start with those charges, but it does not grant counterpunch charges, and it cannot happen again until Thanos' teammates win a fight. So this is what it would look like if you use Thanos without doing another fight with another champion. He starts with 0, but that doesn't really matter because the ramp up, even without the additional charges at the beginning, it is pretty fast and it's very easy to maintain. So right there, I do the counter punch. I get it to 20. One thing I want to take note of right now: you ideally want to throw your special one at 20 or above in the necrotic charges. That's the charges on the farthest left side of Thanos' health bar. If you throw your special one over 20 or at 20, you get a guaranteed 4 Furies stack up. You can stack up to 8 Furies from the special one, so as long as you're throwing it over 20, you have a 100% chance to gain 4 Furies. So you'll see right here, we go from 0 to 4, and now I have that Genesis passive, which is allowing me to regen. I get the counter punch here, counter punch into a special one. There's my 8th Fury, so now I have that long Genesis passive. The Genesis passive is allowing me to heal damage that I'm dealing. I have 2 counterpunch charges now, so I can just consume one. And then I'm going to consume another one, not getting hit. Consume another one into a special 2. And that applies Corrosion. So Corrosion is a physical damage type that deals damage based on the armor rating reduction the opponent has. And if you saw in the first fight, Deathless Thanos can apply an armor break and an armor shatter on the opponent when he has 30 or more charges on his necrotic energy. As you can see right there, there's the armor break, there's the armor shatter. That fight was not an intended, like, oh, this is how good he is. I was just kind of showing off the things that he can do in the matchup and the things that he has access to. This next fight that I'm going to do right here, I'm actually going to, like, kind of pay attention, focus up, and show you how to really play Thanos without the charges. Because even without the charges, he is perfectly fine and one of the most insane cosmic attackers in the entire game. Alright, so there's my first special one with my 4 Furies. I have that Genesis passive, another counter punch, and then we get another one. So there's my second special one. And you'll see that once you get the Fury numbers ticking up, that regen from the Genesis passive, it feels pretty good. Right there, I just got saved by the protection. He special intercepted me, so obviously that's not ideal. But doesn't matter, I'm just going to go for another special one, get my Genesis passive, and then heavy chain into a heavy attack. My Genesis passive is slowly but surely healing me. And you just kind of keep this damage forever. We're gonna throw a nice over 200,000 damage special 2 there. Throw another special one, get the Genesis passive once again. And there goes 1.1 million health in just over a minute and 10 seconds. 1 minute, 15 seconds. And I've got hit there, but the protection saved me from taking any further damage. So pretty nice, pretty nice. Now, I want to show off Thanos with the full Deathless team in a long fight. So I'm going to build the whole Deathless team here, which is Guillotine, King Groot, Vision, and She-Hulk. And now we're going to go fight probably just fight the Star-Lord again. Either Star-Lord or Doc Ock, but I think Star-Lord's probably fine. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like to use Thanos in like really long form content. So ideally you go for at least one special 3 in the matchup. That is the ideal way to start super long form content with Thanos, is to go for a single special 3 at the start. Obviously, if you're using Thanos for the first fight, you have access to your 30 charges, and you can get that armor break and armor shatter right off the rip. You can also counterpunch the end of special attacks. I did that in one of the first matches. I could have done it right there, but I was not thinking about doing it. So now what you want to do, now that you have your 8 Furies, is you want to rush to your special 3. You can do a little heavy stun charge into your heavy attack to gain some extra corrosion damage. And now you want to throw your special 3. This is going to increase your max necrotic energy, and it's going to inflict an indefinite corrosion on the opponent. And you can see that is dealing 4,000 damage every second. So you can imagine stacking up quite a few of these, right? You can imagine that the damage when stacking up 3 or 4 of these corrosions gets pretty out there. So now I'm going to counterpunch into a special 2. If you have enough energy, your special 2 can inflict additional stacks of corrosion. I believe the base number is 1, but if you have, I believe, 45 energy, you can expend all of it to inflict 2 additional stacks per hit. So, like right here, we go from 54 to 40 to 26. So, yeah, you need 45 to get the additional damage burst of the corrosion. Or not the damage burst, the damage over time. That is the corrosion. I don't necessarily recommend always blocking special hits for the counterpunch, because the chip damage will add up, especially against beefier opponents with beefier attack rating. But it is not a bad idea, because the special 1, as long as you're cycling special 1s and special 2s, you can get that Genesis passive. And look, I'm already back to 95%. I'm going to block this special 2 here. That brings me down to 90. And then I'm going to go for a special 1. And then I get the Genesis passive. And the Genesis passive, it heals damage the opponent takes. So you'll notice that I'm not hitting Star-Lord right now, and I'm still healing almost 100 health per second. That is because the Genesis passive heals damage the opponent takes without me having to hit them, which is pretty wild. So I'm back to 100% health already, and if you haven't noticed, I'm hitting really hard, like some insanely high numbers here. I'm getting, what, 38k mediums, 24k light attacks. My heavy attacks are dealing upwards of 100,000 damage in total. And then I'm going to go for another special 3 here. The indefinite corrosion from the special 3 can stack 10 times. So now Star-Lord is taking 8,000 corrosion damage per second. That's a passive, and it lasts for the rest of the fight. You'll notice that Star-Lord has this thing called a panic debuff, and every time I gain Unstoppable, I'm going to be inflicting Star-Lord with a panic debuff. So panic prevents miss and evade. So if Thanos didn't have enough utility with his immunities, with his damage output, he also prevents miss and evade, and that panic debuff and its duration can be extended by his signature ability. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Once again, this is 17 million health that I'm taking off here, or that I'm taking on here. So it's you know, it's not a small health pool. 55k medium attack there. 40k. It's just so silly how strong this guy is. Go for another special 3 here. This is my 3rd corrosion. I think for Necropolis, now of course I'm recording this prior to doing the run, but I think for Necropolis, going for at least 2 special 3s is a good idea. The first one should be for the increased charge gain, and then all subsequent special 3s will be for inflicting those indefinite corrosions to deal maximum damage. 126k on that special 2. 80k on the heavy. Just crazy, just absolutely crazy. 17 million health is literally melting away. And now I've taken some chip damage, so what do? I'm going to counterpunch into my special 1 and get some regen. Use my counterpunch again. And now that regen is healing me for quite a lot more than it was before, because now I have 3 of those corrosions on Star-Lord and not just 1. Now I have, what, 12 corrosions? Because I have those active ones dealing damage now. He's just nuts. He's just completely and utterly insane. Unbelievably sustainable. He does not need the full synergy team to do damage like this. The full synergy team is just nice to have. It is adding some things, like every time I intercept, I deal an instant burst of corrosion damage. But that's not necessary. Like, he has so much damage just on his own. The synergies, they're just additional things. They're just nice to have for Necropolis specifically, you know? He doesn't really need them for anything else. It's just Necropolis where you really notice the bonuses from the synergies. But Star-Lord is now at 25% health. I've taken some chip damage, so now I'm going to rush to my special 1 to get the Genesis passive. As you can see, once you have 2 counterpunch charges, if you were to gain another one, you just gain an unstoppable passive. And if you counter the opponent's special while you have that unstoppable passive, or just intercept them, it counts for the pause. So he's just unbelievable, man. He really is just crazy. That was a 170,000 damage special 2 in total. Going for yet another special 2, 40k, 150k. Go for a heavy attack to deal an instant burst of corrosion damage, as well as deal some nice crit damage. Go for yet another Genesis passive. And again, just go for the heavy. Star-Lord is now taking, I think, what? It's 4 times 4, so 16,000 damage per second from those special 3 corrosions. Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild stuff. And I'm going to attempt to finish this fight with a full yellow bar. It seems like I am on good pace to do that, because, yeah, Star-Lord is dead. So that was 17 million health in 7 minutes by Deathless Thanos. We have the full Deathless synergy here and no boosts. This guy is nuts. This guy is absolutely ridiculous, and I think I've already released like an Abyss Collector solo with him, but this character is insane. I have already taken him to rank 3 Sig 200 on my live count by the time you're watching this video. Again, I'm recording this in the past to release in the future because I'm doing the Deathless run on Wednesday the 8th, and this video comes out Thursday the 9th. So this is like a sort of before, yet after, yet still before kind of recording. But Thanos is ridiculous, and the easiest rank 3 Sig 200 I've ever done aside from Shocker. He's crazy. So thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the content, and I hope that you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps me out. It helps the channel out, and I'm very close to 40,000 subscribers. I would love to hit that number within the month of January, so any additional help towards that goal would be incredible. And throughout 2025, I would love to exceed 50,000 and maybe even 60,000 subscribers. So if you could help me out with that goal, I'd be greatly appreciative of that. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like button because liking and liking, it's a good pair. Thank you all again, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.